Hey, it's MK, and I am back with 31 Days of Cut File Fun. And for this one, I have chosen a few elements from my Not Just for Boys kit club. And I picked out these, what are called candy dots by Bo Bunny, which I think are just enamel dots. I also picked out a few pieces from the 49 and Market little die cuts. I also picked out this tag from a Vicky Bouton paper collection. I think it's called Color Study. These alphabets that are called Coastline, I thought that they were Chamels, but now I'm not really sure. But they have a pink foam behind this holographic cardstock chipboard something. I also picked out some Heidi Swap chipboard stickers. Now, I don't like the word bubbles, so that's going to go away. But these are what I picked out, as well as my title. I also picked out a few die cuts from a Stamperia Cosmos chipboard pack. So this is what the pack looks like, and I've already rifled through it and picked out what I think I'm going to use, but I know I'm not going to use all of them. I just wanted to pull out all of the potential candidates. And then I was going to have a subtitle using these tile alphas, but I changed my mind. I also have a piece of black cardstock that comes in my KCC, which stands for Creative Cuts Club kit. I also have this photo of all of the artwork that we did that night. And then the star paper was from the Heidi Swap Wolf Pack. Here is the die cut that I will be using today. And then this piece here actually came from a practice piece of blending, like I was showing people the blending tools during my it's a workshop that I've been doing all summer long over on my Facebook page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my favoriteest oh my god, you guys, the words are gone today. But I'm going to take my favoriteest color in the Tim Holtz Distress ink, which is chipped sapphire, and redo my edges. Now, I originally used chipped sapphire for my ink blending, but I wasn't using such a heavy hand. And I was also showing all the different blending tools that I owned, and the brushes with the handles, these makeup brushes, are my favorite, you guys. It's one of those things where I don't have to worry about, like getting fatigue in my arm or hand or anything like that from all this blending. Now, I am doing a rough job. I am not doing a very good job at all. I just want to put the ink on the paper because the only thing that you're really going to see is the corners. So I'm not really worried about anything else past the corners and what it looks like. Now, I do have to say that the little smudges in the center won't be seen at all. I was just pulling out different inks that were not Distress inks and showing their blending abilities as well, because some inks don't blend and smooth as well as others do. So it was just all a little show and tell. That's all it was. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to waste this piece. I will do something with it. And it happens to be perfect that they were all in the corners, and the die cut that I'm using is kind of a square. So going back in with my chipboard, the next color that I added was that black soot, because I wanted kind of like a blue and then a black. So a blue fading into a black. And you'll see the effect once I put the die cut back down. You'll definitely see. But I'm going to take my Altenew white. It's I think it's called Pure White ink splatter or ink spray, and splatter it all over. Now, because these are resistant to wet, the sprays don't turn out white. They turn out blue. They pick up the color from the Distress inks and kind of turn out a little bit of blue, but not too much. I'm okay with that. So I'm going to back my cut file. Now, I'm not going to back all of it. I'm going to pick one square, which I do end up getting lost at the square, but I'm going to pick one square to back my cut file with, and then I don't want my gears cut except for the ones that are within the square. Those two like half rounds, or they're not even halves, but anyways. And then of course I kind of lose which square I was doing at one point, and so it just ends up, oh, that looks okay. But I don't want it all because I want the other ones to be covered up by the background, if that makes sense. I want them to be filled in with the background. So after I'm done cutting it all out, this is what my square looks like. And then I'm going to lay it on my page, and it doesn't really matter whether or not I ended up with, a perfect square or not, because you're not going to be able to tell. Now, this is where my black comes into play, because the Heidi Swapp paper that I chose to use is kind of on the black side more than it is on the blue side. And so the black soot helps it blend in with my cardstock that I just inked up. So I really, really like this. Now, basically where I got my idea or my thought concept was because we painted the state Nevada, did an entire galaxy portion on the back. And then we added trees down in the V section of Nevada. And so it's basically a starry night in the mountains, which is, kind of cool because it represents where we live and whatnot. So I definitely did it that way. So the whole inspiration of this layout was from what we ended up painting that night. Now, this is my first night going to, it's called Art and Spirits, which I didn't really want to use that. I almost put that as my title, and I thought, no, because I don't drink spirits. I didn't have any. And so it was kind of one of those that I'm going to use Art Night because that makes sense in my brain of where I got my title. Also, I was going to use those little tile alphas as Art Night with Friends, so I have a little subtitle, but I didn't end up getting one of the copies of the group photos that was taken. So I ended up with this photo, but the group photo of everyone holding up their painting, I did not end up getting. And so I was like, oh, well, that stinks. So yeah, what on earth? And then, to be completely honest, you guys, I can envision the restaurant that we went to go do this at, but for the life of me, I cannot think of its name. Like, it eludes me of what the restaurant's name. It no longer exists. The owners, just shut it down way before COVID, you guys, way, way, way before that. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, I can envision everyone's faces. I can envision the bar. I can envision all of it. Why on earth can I not figure out what restaurant this was? It's just, oh my gosh, I can't think of it. So anyways, not a big deal. It's not about the restaurant. It's about this is my first night joining the art group over there. And the little teacher that was teaching, she actually is a local teacher in one of the schools. And I had a blast with how she, introduced everyone introduced all of the product and, kind of made everybody feel comfortable, even though that might have been their very first time picking up a paintbrush and all that stuff. Galaxies, in my opinion, are very, very hard to learn. And so it was kind of interesting how she went about it, having us create this, this galaxy. Now, I can't remember for the life of me because this was a few years ago, but it was still fun and interesting how she didn't make anybody feel scared to pick up a paintbrush and start painting. So anyways, I took some of the little bits of, actually, I think I took all of the bits that I picked out from the 49 Market die cuts and put them as like little layering pieces. I also picked out some of those Stamperia chipboards, covered up a few of my gears because I thought that that's kind of cool having little constellations inside my gears. And then I'm basically attaching the title, and I wanted to cover up that painting that was on the wall only because of the fact that it had colors in it that was like, okay, that's bright red and all this other weird stuff. And I'm like, no, I don't really want that. I want just the photo of our paintings, and I didn't want to chop it down to where it was just a strip of Nevadas. So yeah, I just basically covered it up with my title, which I thought was kind of cool. I also really, really liked this die cut from the Stamperia set. So I wanted to incorporate that and I just didn't know where. So I found a spot right here on my photo. And what's really cool is the tip of it, even though it's not intentional, it's kind of pointing to which one was mine, which is the second one over from the left. So I thought, oh, that's kind of perfect, you know, even though I wanted to put it somewhere else, but I felt like it really went along the strip. So basically I have a decoration on the left and the right side of my photo, but they all kind of merged into one huge decoration, which I thought was okay. All right. Thank you so much for watching. This is all that I have for today. I hope that you guys don't mind it being a little bit on the, eclectic side, because it has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Maybe one day I will remember the name of that restaurant. But anyways, be sure to check out Christina and what she is doing with this awesome cut file today. And I will see you guys all later. Bye.